Well, the Hour of Code was started by a company, Code.org. So a guy by the name of Hadi Patovi wanted to create a campaign that would get younger students interested in coding and programming. So what he did was he thought he would wrap it around with the Computer Science Education Week. So what he did was the Hour of Code put together was a series of activities and classes that allowed kids to be able to go online or offline in an unplugged way, learn how to code and kind of master some of those computational skill sets that are so needed for today. I was hoping to get at least 1,800 kids. I have 11,780 kids that participated. People are now seeing a perceived value in kids learning to code. My goal next year would probably be to try and at least double the amount of students that we have participate this year. So if we could get around 23,000 students next year, I think it would be fantastic. I'd also really love to get our middle schools and high schools more involved. And it just helps make them become a little bit more of a well-rounded person. When they understand the way the world works around them, they're able to do some amazing things and gain an exuberant amount of confidence. Teaching a kid to code is no different than teaching a kid to play baseball or learning Spanish or any other foreign language. The big deal is that most kids, or a lot of kids, won't necessarily become professional baseball players, be drafted by the MLB when they exit high school. But learning to play ball gives them a sense of team leadership, becoming part of a team, learning how to just think differently. It makes the kid more well-rounded. My thought with code is very much the same. When kids can learn to read and write code, and they learn to encode and decode, it just makes them a little bit more well-rounded. They may never be professional coders, but they will understand how everything works. They can and they should. It's really interesting. You know, there was a video not too long ago put out from an interview with the late Steve Jobs. And they were asking kind of that same question. Why should people just in general learn to code? And his answer was that if you look around, everywhere around us right now, there's nothing that has been invented that is by anybody smarter than you or I. And so when you learn to code, you learn to read and write your own environment. We can create things and we can change the way the world works. All we need to do is just learn how it works. So the power that a kid can have when they feel that they learn to be able to read and write their own environment, it's a form of literacy. Just like when you learn to read, you become very confident. You get a sense of confidence with that new literacy. When you learn to code, you get a digital confidence that's like nothing else.
I ended up working with students at Thunder Ridge Middle School. I was on a school tour and happened to be walking past the computer lab and saw what they were doing, so we went in and sat down with some students and kind of really started asking them some questions and was really interested by what they were able to create and the things they were able to produce based on their hour of code. It was just that chance to be creative, to learn something new and different that my kids are great at, that our kids in our school district are great at, for me to learn something, a way to create something new. And that's just really kind of what, to me, education is all about. And so that was neat for me to do it alongside of our students. I'd love to do it again. I'd love to try it again sooner. I'd like to be able to take it from just creating something on a screen that just see happening to something that maybe actually works or does something of use for myself, for my family, for kids or society. Initially, it's just they can see that anybody can do this. And then anybody can kind of take an idea and make it work and make something happen. And that's what's great for all of our kids to see, that you don't have to be great at this or great at that, but you can be creative and thoughtful and produce something that could be good for society. And that's neat for everybody to see. Just I think how engaging it was. That's not surprising to me that was really neat to see how engaging it was from elementary school all the way up to the superintendent's office, to see everybody kind of engage in being creative and creating something new. That was the fun part for me.
Really, in all honesty, when we start teaching coding and scripting and programming, we should add a warning to it that kids will, they will eventually become critical thinkers. They will become problem solvers. And with extended use, they're going to gain an amount of confidence that they have never had before. We should really start putting a warning on this. Anybody can learn to code. Anybody from early on in primary school all the way through 90 plus. Talk is cheap, make it happen. If you want to do it, get out there and learn to code.